Hello class, welcome to the next segment in the week 5 material. And in this segment, we're going to be talking about something called slice syntax, which is something that you can use on lists and strings. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So up here in line 2, we have a list, again, same variable name that we've been working with so many times before, just with different arrangements of numbers. So here we have a list called my list, and then we have this lovely list of numbers on the right hand side here. Now, up until this point, we've been working with situations where we only pull one item out of the list at a time. And here we're going to take a look at how we can actually pull multiple items out of a list at once, but instead of just getting that particular, a single item, which can be a number, the end result that we get back from pulling multiple items out is just going to be another list. And if that doesn't make sense right now, hopefully that will make sense very shortly when we actually demonstrate this. So again, we have my list defined up here. And on line 4, we have one list. Again, another variable name that will also be holding on to a list of numbers. And then we have that being set equal to my list, which again corresponds to this up here, bracket. And now instead of having one number in the bracket, we actually have two numbers in the bracket, and the two numbers are separated by a colon here. Now, the way that the computer is going to read this is it's going to perform a slice, and the way it performs a slice is it's going to start at item number 1 in my list. Again, the way it knows which list to pull this item out is based on what's to the left of the brackets here, or what I have highlighted here. It's going to start at item 1, which would be this 98. Again, keeping in mind the computer starts counting at 0 and not 1. Then it's going to take that item and everything up to but not including item number 4. So that means we're going to be grabbing items 1, 2, and 3 out of my list, which would equate to grabbing item number 1 here, item number 2, and then item number 3, which would give us this 98, 80, and 94. And since we're pulling multiple items out of the list, that's going to give us back another Python list. So here on line 10, we're demonstrating printing out just the original list unaltered. And then on line 11, we're going to be printing out the result of one list, which is the end result of what we get from the slice here. So let's go ahead and see what sort of result you're going to get back from this program. So here we have the original unaltered list appearing up here. And then down below that, you'll see the result of the slice, which again was stored in this variable called one list. You can see that slice did in fact take out items 1, 2, and 3. Again, items corresponding to items 1, 2, and 3 up here. It did not include item number 4. So just like the range function, the second value in the slice here is a non-inclusive bound. So like the range function when we were looking at a for loop, if you have for I in range 0, 10, I starts off at 0 and then goes up to but not including 10. Slicing works very much the same way. We start at item number 1 and then grab everything up to but not including item number 4, which would equate to grabbing item 1, 2, and 3, the 98, the 80, and the 94 here, which is what we get back in this list that we've put in this variable called one list. And to demonstrate this again, so here we have a similar slice. In this case, we're going to put that in a variable called another list, but again, same idea. We have two values separated by a colon here. So again, we start at this entry in my list. So this will start at the very beginning, grabbing item number 0, which would be the 75, and then grabbing everything up to but not including item number 5, which means it's going to stop at item number 4. So that in essence is going to grab everything from item 0 through item 4, including item number 4. So that will equate to grabbing 75, 98, 80, 94, and 92, not including the 88 here, which is item number 5. And if we want to, we can confirm that result again. So again, we're going to print out the original list that's unaltered, and we're going to print out the new list that we got from slicing or pulling out a list of items from the old list. And you'll see that these slices here that I put in both one list and another list, you'll see that those slices themselves are also treated as lists, as opposed to being treated as a single number, which is what each individual entry in the list is. And if we want to demonstrate this with another example. So what's on line 6 here? So here I have just one number, and where I would put the second number is actually vacant. There's nothing on the right hand side of the colon here. So what this is going to do is it's actually going to start at item number 2, which is this 80. Again, it knows the way it knows which list to grab that from is given by this right here, which corresponds to this variable that's defined in line 2. So we're going to start at item number 2 of my list, which is 80, and then grab everything up to the end. So this is going to start at item number 2 and just grab everything that appears afterwards. So by putting nothing to the right of the colon here, that basically just means start at this number and just grab everything all the way up to and including the end of the list. And if we want to see what that result looks like, again, printing out the original list unaltered, you can see the result of the slice that we get from that, starting at item number 80 and just grabbing everything all the way up to the end. And I could also do a similar thing where I leave the left-hand side of the colon vacant. So here, this would mean start at the very beginning and then grab everything up to but not including item number 2 in this variable called myList. And if we want to see what that looks like, we can run this program again. You can see we get items 75, 98, not including item number 2 from the original list. And if that same logic holds, then if we have just a colon in here without any numbers on either side of the colon, that means we're just going to start at the very beginning and grab everything all the way through the end here. So by having nothing to the left of the colon, that means start at the very beginning of the list, and having nothing to the right of the colon means grab everything to the end of the list. So essentially, just having my list with a colon in here is just going to make a copy of the original list. And we can verify that by simply launching the program, and you can see same list, even though I have the bracket and I have a colon in here, I have a slice, is in fact just copying the original list and putting it in a variable called same list. But that's going to do it for this segment on slicing. And well, one thing I should mention before I wrap this up, you can perform slices on strings just like you would lists. So you can perform a slice in a string to pull out individual characters or sequences of characters out of a string. In fact, if we want to, we can go ahead and demonstrate that with a string that we looked at in the previous segment. So this variable name right here is misleading. I'm actually just going to call that x to not make that so misleading, and then I'll print out what the value of x is. So here we're going to start at character number 0, which is this capital B, and then slice everything out up to but not including character number 6 in the string. And again, the way it knows to do this on a string is the variable name here. So take my string, start at item number 0 or character number 0 in the string, then grab everything up to but not including item or character number 6 in that string. So that'll mean item number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not including item number 6, which is the space that appears immediately after that. But this does work on strings just like it does on lists, just to sort of demonstrate that point. But that's going to do it for this segment on slicing. So again, can be performed on lists and strings. And the final thing that we're going to cover as part of this weekly unit is the idea of a Python dictionary, which is kind of similar to everything that we've been talking about, but it's a little bit different and also mildly confusing at first. So that'll be what we cover in the next segment. So with that, I will see you all in the next segment.